So this movie is kind of like a broom, in the sense that it's gonna sweep all the Oscars. So La La Land is directed by Damien Chazelle, and he directed the movie Whiplash that came out in 2014, which is a movie that I absolutely love. So when I found out he was coming out with a new movie and it was going to be a musical, I got really excited about it and really looking forward to seeing this movie. I absolutely love musicals. This is all the musicals that I own right here in my collection. So the movie stars Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and it stars an aspiring pianist named Sebastian and an aspiring actress named Mia, and it's about how they help each other to achieve their dreams and the romance that they have at the same time. I don't want to get into much more of the plot than that. It really is a movie that you should go in not knowing much about it and just taking it all in as you see it. So like I mentioned earlier, this movie is a musical, so if you're not into musicals, I wouldn't recommend going out to see it. But if you are, this movie really is for you. It feels like those old musicals of the 1950s and 60s that I really love, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it at all. It feels like something entirely new. This movie does a really great job with mixing the old style of musicals and new styles of filmmaking in a really good and interesting way, especially when it comes to the editing of this movie. When the movie is throwing back to styles of the 1950s and 60s, it's edited in a very slow way. It's a lot of long, continuous takes like they used to do back in the days, not a lot of angles and stuff like that. But when they switch and do things that are more modern, it's edited in a more modern fashion. And I think that little choices like that, like those distinctions between even the editing choices, really shows a lot of care and time that was taken into the making of this movie. Also, the cinematography in this movie is phenomenal. Anyone who knows me knows that I really love long, continuous takes. I actually just did a short film that we did all in one continuous take, and this movie does a lot of that as well. A lot of long, gorgeous, continuous takes that I absolutely love. Damien Chazelle is a director that is after my own heart. So yes, it is a musical with the big musical numbers when they're singing around. They sing for probably about a third of the movie, but they also have big dance numbers with no singing at all, just like a lot of music and all the characters dancing around. Now, there's one particular scene when Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone first meet each other, and they sing a little song, and then they have this big dance number where they're dancing on the street. And this scene is my absolute favorite part of the movie. I love the choreography of the dance, which in the credits it says the choreography was done by Mandy Moore. Now, I don't know if that's the Mandy Moore who's an actress and the voice of Rapunzel and Tangled, but it might be, and if that is, that's pretty cool. But even if it's not, whichever Mandy Moore did the choreography of this movie, good job, because I thought it was really amazing. I also have to comment on the performances in this movie, because Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone really knocked it out of the park. I think that they're going to definitely be nominated for Oscars for this movie, if not win. I haven't seen everything that has a lot of Oscar buzz around it, so I'm not sure at this point, but I think there are definite contenders for sure. And as far as character performances go, besides the main two characters, there aren't really any strong supporting characters at all. This movie is about Sebastian and Mia, and that's what we get. All the other characters that are in the movie are in there just to serve their part of the story, and then they're out. There's no subplots, there's nothing. It's just these two characters, their dreams of what they want to do with their lives, and that's all we get. And I think that's really amazing. It shows that the movie has a lot of focus. It knows what it wants to tell us, and it's telling us. There's nothing superfluous about it, and I really appreciate that. The songs in this movie are really emotional and moving as well. Really well written. I can't remember who wrote them, I'm sorry, but whoever did the writing for not only the musical lyrics, but the music itself, it's really catchy tunes. The only real negative thing I have to say about it is sometimes the music is a little louder than the lyrics, and it's kind of hard to hear what they're saying. I think that's done on purpose, though, so I don't know. The movie is an emotional roller coaster. We meet these two characters, and they meet each other in a very unconventional sense, that they have kind of these chance encounters, and then they actually meet, and then we go off on their journey together, and it's heart-wrenching. The movie's not the hard gut punch that Whiplash is. It's more of a slowly easing yourself into a hot tub and then realizing that it's way too hot and you don't know what you've gotten yourself into and you need to get yourself out, but then by then it's too late. And I didn't think I would get as attached to the characters as I thought I would, but here I am, almost crying at the end of the movie because of all the things that have happened to them and how their journey ends. It really is something that affected me deeply, especially as someone myself who's aspiring to be a filmmaker. Knowing how these guys' journeys go and flow and go up and down, something that really hit home for me, and I absolutely loved it. I don't really have negatives for this movie. It's amazing and I loved it, and it's probably my number one favorite movie of the year. The only thing that I might say about it is it's maybe a little bit too long. Some stuff could be maybe trimmed up a bit to shorten the runtime a bit, but the movie's an hour and 40 minutes long, I think, so that's not too bad at all. I did talk to a friend of mine who didn't really like the movie, but his main complaints were that there wasn't enough singing in the movie and that he didn't really understand the ending, which isn't a big deal. I understand the ending and I explained it to him and now he gets it, he's fine, but it's not a movie that will stick with everyone, I think, especially it's a movie about dreamers and chasing dreams. So if that's not something that you get, then it maybe isn't something that will affect you. In any case, I think this movie was incredible. I think Damien Chazelle has really found a niche for himself in directing stories about musicians and dreamers trying to follow and chase their dreams. And I would say that La La Land is definitely Poddle approved. So that's it for my review of La La Land. I'm probably not going to see any new movies for the rest of the year, so soon I'll be doing my top 10 favorite movies of the year, so keep an eye on for that. You can comment below, let me know what you thought of La La Land, let me know what you thought of this review. Give me a subscription if you haven't done so already, and if you've got nothing else to do, go watch more movies.